Hello everybody and welcome back to the Indie Radar. Today we're doing a first impressions video on Demon's Rise, which is developed by Wavelight Games and is rated M for mature for 17 and up, and is currently on sale for free until April 8th. So I went ahead and did a little bit of playing of the game and learning about it, because when you first start up this game, it's going to be very hard to pick up and play because there's a lot of things that you need to learn. Now, this game is a turn-based strategy game, very identical to Arcane Quest, very in-depth with its classes. There are 50 classes to check out, which we will check out in a little bit. But if you have gotten into this genre before and you played a lot of games that are turn-based strategy like this, I will say that it'll be easier for you to learn about the game, but I would highly recommend that you do the tutorials, because the UI in the game is not helpful and it's hard to just kind of use your own common sense to be able to play the game. I'm going to go ahead and start up a new game here and just kind of show you how it starts out for you. I already kind of looked into the game to see if there was any in-app purchases, and I can confirm, and it also says on the Google Play site that there are no in-app purchases, and I can confirm that there is indeed no in-app purchases. Everything in the game revolves around currency that you can acquire through normal means of playing the game, which is awesome. Very good. There are a lot of loading screens, and this game is offline, so it just really depends on what you're about to do. In this screen right here, you have a chance to make your team, and you can pick through the 4 pre-made ones, which I probably would recommend if you're just starting into the game. But let's go ahead and form our own warband and take a quick look at all the classes in the game. And, well, it's amazing. One of the best parts about this game is the big variety of classes that you can play, and they're all very unique, and a lot of classes that I haven't seen in any other game that I played. So there you go. Take a second to take in all of the character classes that there are in this game, and it's incredible. I could probably spend about 15 minutes right away talking about classes, and, well, I don't want to take up just all of the time in my video going through all the classes, but as you can see, it's a mixture of different races and even different creatures, and there's even a walking cannon, and let me see if I can find where that is. Yes. So they have a lot of imagination when it came to designing these classes. And of course on the left is your descriptions of the classes, and keep in mind the hit points and the action points. So already you can tell that there's going to be a lot of replayability and a lot of theory crafting, which is the best part about these strategy games like this. So I can already see myself playing this game for like 50 hours. And the advertisement does guarantee that you can get at least 50 plus hours of gameplay just based on the story. And this game is offline, so it is based on story. And it's fun to get into if you're into the game for the story or just playing the game. I am going to go ahead and pick classes that I've never seen before in other games, which could all just be the creatures, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Steel Golem there. Kind of looks weird. I want to see what he's all about. Now, let's see here. There's Gandalf, skeletons, Elga. There's just so much. Look at that big tree. I mean, they have a giant tree for you to play, which is cool. It's probably like a support type. Yeah, badass golem there. Let's click the gnomes already been seen before. Chronomancer. That is a personal favorite class for me. In all games that I play, I usually tend to go for more mentally, games that require a lot of thought, or classes that require a lot of thought. I'm going to go ahead and pick Chronomancer, even though it's been in other games before. Stone Priest. That's an interesting priest right there, a stone priest. Oh, look at that, samurai. This is just really fun. This is what... Oh, Illusionist is another class that I like to play in games that have it as an option. I'm going to go ahead and skip past that. And you do get to see some, classes that you see in other games. So if you don't want to get too risky and try to get into all these different other classes and characters, there are definitely going to be classes that you played before. Oh, let's pick a Minotaur. Come on now. That's just awesome. Let's see here. You could even pick a dragon that's laughing at me. Interesting. Halfling. Okay, so we have hobbits. There's Gandalf and there's Frodo. Let's see here. Let's pick a skeleton champion. Why not? Ooh, an elven paladin. I didn't see that before. Oh, see, I could just spend so much time picking... What's this again? Mage Hunter. Yeah, anti-mage. Let's go ahead and pick that. Alright, so... I'm sorry, I just have to pick the samurai. That's just too cool. Alright, so I have a mixture of like classes that you see in other games, and then classes that are unique to this game. Let's see here. So that was the first part of the game. So you choose your warband, and as you can see on the left, we have a couple of different options here, and I already went ahead and looked at all of them. And on the bottom right, definitely check out the game rules and how to play. You will not be able to function in this game without knowing these basic instructions. And one thing I did notice in my initial playthrough is that this game is perfect for BlueStacks, because the touching of the game in order to like move and stuff requires double tapping, and it can be very hard to do depending on the size of the screen of your phone, because you'll end up just trying to move to a different grid. As you can see here, there's an introduction to the quest. I'm going to go ahead and skip that though, which is the storyline of the game, and I'm just going to go ahead and get into the battle and let you guys see what the graphics are all about and the sounds and everything, and I'll just go ahead and give my first impressions. So we're going to be starting off by fighting some ratmen. Ooh, that's creepy. So there's a lot of thought and imagination put into each of these classes. So I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see that it is like a tabletop game. And of course it is like a lot like HeroScape, so you'll get that general idea, and maybe that can help you get into the game. And like I said, the UI is going to be very complicated at first. You're going to wonder why there's 6 big giant X's down there, the yellow tabs, but that is actually going to be your abilities. So let's go ahead and show you what I mean by moving, which I got a little used to it, but it's very complicated. Even just moving took me a while to get into, and the game doesn't exactly give you big highlights on where you can move, how you can move, who you can attack, but I kind of just got the general idea of how to play the game. It's still a little hard for me to get into, and I'm actually pretty good at picking up on games, so I don't think I can attack you yet, so you're good to go. So it is a grid-based game, movement-wise, so it is very fun for somebody like me, and I really enjoy games like this. It impresses me how many classes there are in the game. I can't get over just the depth of it all. But again, guys, definitely do the tutorials in this game, or else you're probably not going to play the game, because there's just no way for you to pick up the game and go. You won't have a good time. One of the things that I wish that they would do is make the movement grid a little more easier to see, because when you click on your character, you can just vaguely see the green grid show up, and that shows you where you can move. I kind of wish it was white. Alas, it is green, so you just kind of hopefully have a good phone that can help you see what you're doing. And it looks like you're gonna live, Ratman, because I don't think any of my characters can hit you. Let's go ahead and end my turn. And of course, like any good old tactical turn-based strategy game, you go by turns, which is your turns and then the enemy turns. So I'm already a big fan of this game just because of the genre of the game, but it's just really hard to learn and get into, and a lot of the first moments of the game is going to be you just trying to learn what the hell is going on. Something I really do like about this game is that you do have complete control over the camera. In different movements, you can sort of just move it any way you want to. I would just recommend sticking to the bottom left, the little circle there, which is your zoom in, your zoom out, your turn it left, turn it right, and if you click on it, you can automatically move to your next character. The battles in this game, animation-wise, are pretty sound. Nothing too impressive, but the graphics are definitely screaming for mature audiences, which is alright. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get you up there. It doesn't look like I can use any abilities yet. Let's go ahead and attack. Ah, see? And there's just even enemies have a lot of uniqueness to it. So you just have to kind of study and get used to it yourself in your own way. Oh, there's an ability. So as abilities become available, depending on the AP that you have, you will actually see the icon pop up where the yellow X's are. So I'm going to click on that, and just like Arcane Quest, it will pop up a page and you will be able to activate it and just kind of learn about it. And on the upper right, you will see the AP needed to use the ability, and like the highest one right now is 38 AP. So I'm going to kind of help you guys if you decide to play the game. On the very upper left, you're going to see your portrait. The red bar next to your portrait is going to be your HP, and below that is the blue bar, which is going to be your AP. Back to your portrait, on the very lower left is going to be your action points, or your actions per turn. So how many times you can attack in turn. And the purple 60 right there is your morale. And there is a morale system in the game, and it all affects how well you're doing. If you're doing really good, your morale is going to go high, and if you're doing really bad, the morale is going to get low, and your characters will be less reliable, which is a whole new thing that you need to get into on your own time. And the 5 tabs plus the system settings on the very upper right is your tile info. If you click on that, you will be able to see the different modifiers that apply to you when you're on the tile. To the right of that is your inventory, which will bring up your stats as well, and you can navigate through each of your characters this way. And to the right of that is going to be Divine Blessings. Depending on how well you're doing the game, you will get points of Divine Blessings, which is the favor of the gods, and you will be able to choose one, and it will affect all of your characters for this battle only. To the right of that is going to be an icon, and you use that to bring up or get rid of the HP bars. I would recommend keeping that. To the right of that, the boot icon is going to be your fast forward, and of course the system settings to the right of that. And if we go to the very lower left, you're going to see the little easy navigation button, which affects your camera. And if you click the center of it, the next here, it will go to the next officer or character that you have. On the bottom, the 6 different tabs there are all your abilities, which the icon will pop up depending on if it's ready to use or not. And to the right, of course, end turn. And if you pull out the arrow to the left here, you will go into the activity log. Just in case you miss something, you will be able to pull this up and see exactly what happened. So that's the quick run through of the UI here, and hopefully that helps you guys, because it took me a while to figure that out. So I'm still not sure how you gain AP. It looks like you gain AP depending on the lack of actions that you take. So if you don't do too much in a turn and you end the turn, you'll gain more AP. So let's go ahead and use an ability here. The Mage Hunter unleashes dark energy from his blade that drains the will from his enemies, making wizards forget their spells and warriors unable to lift their weapon against him. And a little bit of typos here. On a successful hit, target unit loses 2 to 20 AP per level of caster. So this is a very good ability to use against enemies that have a lot of abilities. So that's pretty fun right there. Oh, look at that, I get to attack again. Awesome. So I went ahead and killed my first Ratman. And let's just see when my samurai can kill ya. Can you attack? No, you can't. Actually, let's go to my next one. Ooh, alright. Who is this again? This is my giant, I think. I can't really tell right now. Yep, that's my steel golem. Looks like he can attack twice in one turn. Nice. 80% chance to hit, damage 5 to 13. So whenever you get your character ready to attack, it's going to bring up a little statistics page on the right there, which will show you your chance to hit and the damage that you can deal, as well as your critical chance. Ooh, not too good there. This enemy seems to be good at dodging. Let's see here. None of my other characters are able to use abilities, which is okay at the moment. I'm not in too much danger. Alright, I have an ability here. The Minotaur slams its fist into the opponent's face. Rarely a lethal blow, but one that will leave its victim stunned and unable to fight effectively. Alright, awesome. So I need to get up in this guy's face in order to use that. Let's go ahead and move you there. So I had mentioned that this game would be perfect in BlueStacks, and I say that as a first impression of it being a lot easier to click on your tiles, which if they made the grid a little more visible, it probably wouldn't be much of a problem, which I kind of hope they would do in future updates. And it does look like the developers update this game regularly. I think it just got its last update on the 3rd of this month, which is pretty nice. So that's good that the developers still pay attention to the game. And it looks like I don't have any more moves here. So I'm a big fan of this game already. I do like that it's offline, because if you're on the go and you can just automatically pick up on a save state, and that's another good feature of this game, is you have a lot of save slots and save states as well, so you will be able to just turn off the game and then pick up right where you left off, which is very nice. And ooh, that Ratman looks very interesting. Let's see here, and if you click on the enemy, it'll bring up their HP and their little portrait there, and you can click on the question mark to see what it's all about. And ooh, it's a shaman. So there's a couple of things on here that I don't know about, like the intimidation, the courage, but it looks like you can see the movement range, which is good. I wonder if you can do that on your own characters as well. If I click on you, alright, so there we go. So, and on the bottom here, on the character page, you will see all the abilities, so this would be a good opportunity to learn more about your classes. This is where the replayability comes in. Not only can you try out each class, but you can see the interactions between each other class that you pick, and you can form a team, and it becomes really fun because there's a lot of different options. And let's see, Ritual of Crow. The Chronomancer begins a complex ritual that distorts time and the air around him. Those within feel time less strongly than those without, so are able to avoid incoming attacks more easily and perform actions more easily. Let's go ahead and use that. Awesome. That is why I love Chronomancers. They're just very good supports. And looks like this game does it true. And let's see here. No abilities from you, so let's go ahead and... Ugh! Come on now. Let's try it again. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, let's see here. What can you do? What's this ability? Reaper's Blade. The Skeleton Champion was a hero of legend when he lived, and his death and resurrection have done little to dull his martial prowess. Wielding his deadly blade, he strikes out all those foolish enough to face him. He makes a melee attack against all adjacent units. Alright, let's see here. I don't know about that one. All hostile units within a 2-tile radius lose 1 counterattack for 2 turns. Alright, so there's a little bit of strategy involved with this character, which is awesome because there's a couple of features on this character that can just kind of debilitate your enemies depending on... Oh, you know what, let's get right up here. And doesn't look like I can attack them, not in range. Oh well, that's alright. Next turn I'm sure you're going to destroy. Get you in range for future reference, bring you closer here, and next person. Get my samurai up there. Looks like I have a couple abilities ready for him. So, as you can see, the blue bar up there is filled up, and I only have 12 AP maximum. But there's 4 things on the bottom, the 4 X's there, and they're not showing up my abilities. And a lot of the abilities, as it goes to the right, are going to be higher cost AP. And it looks like the samurai is ice related, which is interesting. Get my Minotaur up there. I think it's so cool that they have a Minotaur. Love it. Da-da-da. Who else can move? You. Get you up there. What's this ability? The Steel Golem makes a melee attack with a base 90% hit chance against all enemies within a 2-tile radius that deals 4 to 8 damage per level of the caster. So obviously the Steel Golem is going to be an in-your-face character, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and end my turn. So, just to kind of summarize what we're dealing with here, the graphics are nice. They definitely cater to adult audiences. Animations are pretty smooth. The frame rates are okay. It seems like it can get pretty laggy depending on how many enemies and allies are on the field, which is not something to be unexpected. We are playing on our phones, and not everybody has phones capable of running console-like games, so I'm not too surprised about that. This game does have a steep learning curve, and it's not something that you could take with the prior knowledge of games that you played before and apply it here. You really have to take the time to learn everything in the game. As in terms of in-app purchases, there are no in-app purchases, which is awesome, and there seems to be different game modes, and you can mess with the difficulties, and there's so many classes, so really this game seems like it would be worthy of the buy, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here.